Okay, in this video we are going to look at some poorer examples of shots and study what went wrong about them and how we could improve them in the future. So it's always good to study and accept our mistakes and study them so we know how can we grow. Yeah, it's kind of the first step to improvement is recognizing when something's wrong. So let's take a look here at this first shot. See if you can guess what's wrong with these shots when we first watch them, and then I'll come back and point out what it was.
You were steadfast, never failing. You were faithful. All creation is enough.
All right, so this shot was poor framing. Whenever our subject on camera is looking one direction, that should be that direction should be what takes up most of the shot. And so in this example, Isaac's looking to the right, so there should be 2/3 of the shot should be that open space where he's looking, or else our mind is kind of left wondering, what's he looking at? So Isaac should actually be placed over here on this side of the shot, with 2/3 of the room being where he's looking. Okay, next shot.
You're the healer of the sick and the broken. You are comfort for every heart that mourns.
Okay, so what was bad here, at least at the beginning of the shot, is that the lyrics were covering up his hands and the keyboard, which is also where your eye wants to look. It's easy to forget as an operator where the lyrics are covering up. And so you always want to leave extra room when anything that is the focal point comes near the bottom of your shot. That's most common on keyboard. So next time, this shot would need to be a bit lower or more zoomed out so that the lyrics didn't overlap with what your eyes want to look at. Next shot here.
And our Savior forever, for eternity, we will sing.
Yeah, so again, this is just really poor framing. She's right in the middle. Again, she should be off to the right thirds, and she's looking to the left from this angle. So she's sort of in the middle, and you're kind of like only ever giving me half of the bodies of these other people that are kind of on the edges of the camera. It would be much better to pick one and have them in the background of the shot. All right, next shot. All right, so the main thing about that shot is there's two main things. One is the mic stand is directly blocking where your eye wants to look here on the guitar. Number two is that this is the lead singer. And so, or it's not, might not be the lead singer, but it's somebody who's a leader on that morning or is singing right now. And so if this shot doesn't move from bottom to top, it's just awkward because I know I hear his voice singing, but he's not like an electric guitar player that's soloing or something, and so it should have movement. It should end up on his microphone at the top. That is just something to keep in mind when you're taking these shots of singers. Okay, next up. So this is actually a pretty cool creative shot in general. It's kind of through the lighting truss on the side of the stage. The downside is that there's like too much of the truss that's creating like darkness on the edges of the shot. So the way to fix this one would be to zoom in maybe 30 or 40%, so you just get some of this on the sides and a little bit of overlap. That would be what to change there. Next shot. All right, so the bad part of this shot was that Belle is leading the song and she's also the closer subject. So your eye is naturally drawn to her in this framing. And the focus transitioned from her away to Isaac. And it should be the opposite. The focus should begin on Isaac and then end up on where your eye wants to look. So you're drawing your eye to where it naturally wants to look to in the shot. Next shot here. All right. So that was poor about that shot. It's just like pretty uninteresting. You can see Annika here on the side, and you're kind of cutting off half of his face. You need to pick one or the other. Either you're going close in on the base and just keeping that the focus, or you're making sure that all of the basis is in the shot. So zoom in a little bit closer to get Annika out of the side. Move up so that the bassist face is totally in the shot, or do a movement that's really close in from the bass up to his head. That's what you could improve there. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Let's watch that one more time. So it's kind of hard to say that this was necessarily a camera operator mistake, because when he had his shot framed up, her hand wasn't in the way. But as soon as he went live, her hand started blocking her face. So yeah, ideally what should have happened is our operator really quickly cuts away to a different shot, because you can't really control that. But when you notice that's not happening and you still know your camera is live, you can change the subject of your shot to make sure that we get something good. So what would have been the goal here is, rather than leaving her on screen for this long with her hand covering her face, her arm covering her face, you just move over to the left and get Isaac, who's leading the song, and just change your focus. So that would be the improvement there. All right, last mistake here. All right, we already looked at that example. That must be a copy or something. All right, you guys, those are some common mistakes in framing and focus, things like that. Be sure to watch out for those in your shots.